Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork. In today's video, we'll be covering some gacha and mobile title releases for the month of November with some extra titles because I thought they look cool. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. First thing is being is Blue Archive right here with Nexon Company. Originally, this game was published by Yostar. I think this is going to be a promising XCOM RPG. I played this game in JP and I had a really good time, mostly because of the combat. It's like an auto style where they jump between like different like sort of covering positions. You can select their skills and they can use like SMGs, LMGs, pistols, all sorts of things, and the character mechanics were pretty cool. Like they could throw grenades, they had like a support mode where they could throw robots out. It was just a different style of RPG that's very refreshing. I thought it was just worth to sort of talk about. I covered it in the month of October, but this is supposed to release in the month of November. Hopefully it finally releases, and I'm just excited to finally try this title. Note that Nexon has been pretty decent with the release of Konosuba Fantastic Days, so I have a little bit of hope that it's going to be okay, but you never know when it comes to Nexon. It's sort of a wild card. Let's go ahead and talk about Tales of Luminaria. This is probably my most hyped title for the month of November. Reason being is because it is an action RPG with high fidelity graphics, not to mention voice acting. It's going to be by Bandai Namco, and Bandai, I know it doesn't have like the greatest things with monetization, but look at the actual gameplay that's playing in the background and look at how there are different characters and different movesets between each character. And I really like the diversity and what's going on with like the different enemy types, the swords, essentially axes, the bows, there's guns, there's every single weapon type, but there's definitely a differentiating aspect. Not to mention the cutscenes, as you can see, there's definitely going to be a lot of lore, there's going to be story aspects that not very many games can execute properly. And just scrolling through this website, you can see what it's all about. There is 21 different points of view, not to mention here's a little recap on the story. There's going to be all these different characters, going to be the Jurley Federation versus the Gidlin Empire, not to mention the adventures right here. There's gonna be like different cutscenes that you can view. It's gonna be coming soon. There's even an anime in the works already, and then there's gonna be like this band who essentially created the song tie in, and most of all, it's going to be released November 4th 2021. And to me, there is no other title in the month of November that can sort of compare to Tales of Luminaria, because there isn't like the production value, there isn't the effort in gameplay. Most of the stuff is kind of turn-based, or it doesn't have like that high piece of quality that I'm looking for when I try a gacha game. I think this one's just going to push us on the edge of what next gen gacha games are going to be, setting quality above like just quantity, right? It's not just an amazing roster of heroes, it's about each hero having a different perspective, having different gameplay, and actually making it entertaining for everyone to try different characters out, and making it so that you can actually get an essence of what the character is actually trying to prove throughout the game. And to me, there's just too many generic gacha games out there. I'd rather see high quality and focused effort on 21 characters opposed to 100 characters with no background, no story, and no real identity to their character. And that's going to be Tales of Luminaria for me. Next thing is going to be Lineage W, or Lineage World. It rubs me a weird way because the game looks sort of generic. You can see different countries are sort of fighting each other, and there's going to be like chat mechanics and everything. It's going to be a Lineage game, and it looks all right in my opinion, but I'm not sure how it's going to be going. Siege style combat. It's a Lineage game, but honestly, I don't know how to feel about it just yet. It's going to be by NCSoft. This dragon thing looks absolutely amazing. We'll just see how this actually goes when it releases on November 4th, supposedly on global. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this to at least be a decent title. We'll see how it goes. Next thing's being is going to be Final Fantasy V. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, this is just going to be nice. Note that this game is going to be a little bit pricey because you actually have to pay for it, but if you're just an RPG fan and you like Final Fantasy, I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a fun try overall. Just wanted to keep this in your radar. It's also going to be on Steam if you want to play it there. Probably going to be cheaper in that front. Next thing is going to be Ragnarok Origin. Now, we've seen this title before. The only difference between this Ragnarok from other Ragnaroks is the fact that it's going to be sort of in like this 3D setting, and I guess it's more of like Maple Story 2-esque style. I'm not sure if folks have played this game, but honestly, I'm just kind of like whatever when it comes to Ragnarok games because there's been too many. But I guess this one's probably going to be like the best graphical wise, best like open world wise. We'll see how it goes at the end of the day, but it doesn't really bring anything new to like the genre in my opinion. If you're looking for like an MMORPG that you've been wanting to try, maybe this is the one that's going to hook you, but it's probably just going to be an auto MMORPG. You can see a little bit of the combat right here. They just pretty much go around punching stuff and doing their own thing. So if you find that like pretty cool, maybe this is the one just because it's graphically better and pleasing more than others. Then we have Revive Witch by Yostar Limited. Draws inspiration from Octopath Traveler on the Switch. If you've never played Octopath Traveler, pretty much it's your standard turn-based RPG. There's going to be different like puzzles and styles that you need to go through throughout the map, and you sort of like have these encounters. Honestly, this is going to be one of like the most high quality pixel RPGs that we have gotten as of late. I'm not sure how like intensive like the gacha is, but as far as like everything goes, like the quality, like the actual different characters that you get to play with and like interact with, it seems like a cut above compared to other pixel RPGs we have ever gotten. So I'm super excited to see how this goes. I heard some rumblings that the gameplay sort of falls short in the late game. At the end of the day, if there's like some sort of arena, I think that's where the replayability is going to really shine at. Next thing is going to be Seven Knights 2 by Netmarble. Honestly, it's a Netmarble title, so I'm just going to remain hesitant whether I actually want to try it. Yes, it looks beautiful. Of course, like the mechanics are going to be great, but usually what happens is you play these games, they're really great for like a couple days, couple weeks, and then once you get to the end game, everything's just PvP and it doesn't feel like a fully fledged game. But you know, just looking at it graphically wise, it's going to be amazing. There's no doubt about that. And Netmarble is honestly kind of decent with released some content for their games, but I always remain hesitant just because it's Netmarble. They are not the greatest when it comes to monetization. I just wanted to keep this in your radar in case you want to try something a little bit more different, the cinematic RPG experience. You can tell there's going to be a lot of effort on that front. As far as like depth of gameplay, we'll see. Like hopefully it's not just an auto fest. And then we have like other games for the month of November. I'm not sure if these are going to be releasing, but let's go ahead and talk about them. First one's being is Awaken Chaos Era. This is going to be similar to like your FF7 Western style game. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with FF7. Pretty much it's a turn-based RPG. I feel like this is going to be popular just because people have always wanted a Western style game of like this RPG mechanic. Is it going to be groundbreaking? Is it going to be different? Honestly, no. The only thing that makes it special is because like the characters aren't all waifus and it has like a different array of like things going on, and people just sort of like this World of Warcraft inspired sort of mechanics and whatnot, or World of Warcraft like artistic style. Other games have been released by Century Games Limited. I don't want to talk about monetization too much, but I feel like it's going to be aggressive. Overall, I just think this title is just something to keep on your radar in case you're trying to look for something that's non-anime style. Next thing is going to be FF7 First Soldier. Honestly, when I first look at this game, I have no idea what's going on because they're just taking advantage of the Final Fantasy VII name and they're putting it on a battle royale. If it actually looks like this, that's going to be really cool. Honestly, I hope there's like a PC sort of mechanic of this one, but there's nothing really like tying me towards being like, oh, I want to play this on mobile, just because like it seems like there's going to be a lot of different things going on. If you're a fan of like battle royale, maybe this game is going to be for you, but personally speaking, not really much for me. Kind of hard to play a battle royale on mobile because there's a lot of different things going on. Maybe they do like something crazy. Honestly, the cinematics like really draw me into this game, but I'm really iffy on whether I want to try it or not, just because I'm not a battle royale person. And maybe it releases in November, maybe it doesn't. Just something to keep on your radar, right? Next thing is going to be Valkyrie Rush Idol Merge. I guess this is like your Galaga space shooter inspired like game with waifus instead of like spaceships. If you like that sort of deal, feel free to play it. Honestly, I'm not going to touch it just because I don't really want my waifus to act like spaceships. I'm not really attracted like to these style of games, but I just wanted to keep it on your radar in case you're wondering. Next thing is going to be Fantasy Life Online, going to be by Bold Trend Games. Honestly, I was really looking forward to this one until I saw Bold Trend. Bold Trend isn't the greatest when it comes to monetization, but when it comes to like the actual Fantasy Life game, I played this on the 3DS. I had a phenomenal time. There's so many different mechanics, like, you know, you have like your different classes right here: miner, woodcutter, blacksmith, like carpenter, paladin, mercenary, hunter. There's all like these sort of like different mechanics, and you actually play like a certain lifestyle. I'm not sure how well this does in JP, but I like the Fantasy Life franchise. I hope it does well, but we'll see how everything goes. Next thing is Eternal Saga Region Tactics. When I first looked at this game, I was like, what is going on with the graphics? It feels uninspired. I've seen like, I guess, this sort of siege style RPG games. I'm not sure if it's going to be good. I just wanted to like talk about it because I guess it's a mobile game and it's coming. This one I'm not really looking forward to too much. It's just going to be like, hey, you know, this is a title. You can look at it if you want. We'll see whether it actually performs well. And let's go ahead and jump into the next one. This one is going to be Pikmin Bloom. It's going to be by Niantic, the same people who brought you Pokemon Go. You get to essentially walk around and grow your Pikmin, which I think is really cool. So in case you got tired of Pokemon Go, you can play this one. Seems to be tied to like your Miis from like sort of like the Nintendo series. I'm kind of curious how like this one will go overall, but it seems like a fun game, like in case you guys wanted to be more active with the way you play your mobile games. And I believe it's already out right now, but it's only out for certain countries. I believe it's like only Australia and a few places. If it's released globally, I'm not entirely sure. Seems to be different because it's based around walking and actual activities. Keep this in your guys' radar in case you wanted to try something a little bit different that's not a gacha game. And next thing is going to be Figure Story. Now, this is planned to release sometime in November, and I'm curious as to how it will go. Now, if you look at it graphically wise, there's going to be a lot of cutscenes. You know, this is going to be a cutscene right here with like the 3D characters, or like, you know, all the different figurines that you can collect. Yes, it's going to be mostly waifus. I like the way like they sort of present the characters in this game, and this is like a sort of look at the actual like gameplay. It doesn't look amazing, but honestly, when you're covering this game, I feel like where it shines is because of the fact that you like waifus, you like figurines, and maybe this is something for you. And I guess there's a Keys in an AI like sort of collaboration going on. Next titles is going to be Gate of Nightmares right here. Huge credits to Gaming Mobile for essentially releasing this video with some gameplay. I thought it looked really nice as far as like, hey, you know, what is this game all about? Like, what is your day-to-day? What is the action RPG actually doing? You can cast your skills. There's going to be like definitely top tier budgets when it comes to the actual graphics. And I think the biggest draw to this game is going to be the fact of the top tier graphics. As you can see here, there's nothing else really like it on like the mobile front. It even like sort of puts a flame on Genshin Impact as far as like graphics goes. Maybe like the most equivalent thing could be something to like 7 Deadly Sins. There you go. You can sort of see there's going to be like different combat phases. There's going to be pets. There's going to be different characters that you can use. There's going to be ults and everything. I think this is just going to be a cool title to keep on your radar. You can try this right now if you want to in JP. If you have access to QApp, you can definitely do that. I just want to talk about it because I thought it was pretty hype and I like the Fairy Tail series, and I can't wait for Eden Zero to actually release, and I think it's going to be in tangent with this game. No, it's going to be by Square Enix, and Square Enix, I don't know if it's the greatest when it comes to monetization. Usually they release decent games. And then lastly, let's go ahead and talk about like predatory mechanics when it comes to like games and stuff. Just be aware of like this sort of thing. I thought it was a pretty valuable Reddit post. I wanted to share this mostly because I want everyone to have food on the table at the end of the day. Whether I talk about a gacha game, whether you want to play it or not, I value your guys' safety number one so that you guys can actually eat. You guys can actually play games for fun. I recommend never buying any packs whatsoever if you can when it comes to gacha games. Just enjoy them as a free to play, and I think that's just the best way at the end of the day. And there's no way that I can play like a PC or Nintendo Switch game and get the same experience from a mobile title. It's just not the same, and plus I don't really have time to sit down sometimes to actually play like a Switch or, you know, an MMORPG. Gacha games, mobile titles, they give me my fix, and that's why I play them. And of course, huge thank yous to the Milk Gaming community for actually providing this list. I covered a few games on their list, and I covered a few titles of my own. Honestly, without Milk Gaming, I couldn't make these videos every month, so I just want to send a huge thank you. The game that I'm looking forward to the most is going to be Tales of Luminaria, that is for sure. I think this game is just going to be a cut above from everything else because there's nothing else in this like sort of November list that looks as amazing, nothing else that gets me as hype as this one, just because of all the different mechanics going on here. If it flops, oh well, but at least it looked good. At least we got something to actually be hyped for the month of November. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 27,500 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and see you guys in the next one.